All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Christina Baker. I am the digital strategy lead at Silvertech. And today I'm joined with Andrew and Sean from Kentico. And we're going to be talking about using AI to power your marketing and how does AI play in your marketing stack and what are some ways that you can harness the power of AI to really elevate your marketing efforts. So I'm going to go throw up a quick intro slide here. Again, my name is Christina Baker. I'm the digital strategy lead for Silvertech. We are a full service digital agency. I work with a number of clients across verticals, higher ed, utilities, banking, even union first aid actors, a little bit of everything on advising them on their digital strategies, their digital platforms, and how to get the most out of their Martech and digital strategy to really create a customer experience that is second to none. I'm going to pass it over to Andrew for a quick intro.
Yeah, thank you, Christina. So, Andrew Aquilini, I'm a channel growth manager here at Kentico. I've spent about 10 years in the CMS DXP space. About six of those have been with Kentico. So, yeah, my background is really around websites, CMS, marketing tools, all those kinds of things. Sean, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Andrew. My name is Sean Wright. I'm lead product evangelist at Kentico. I worked with Kentico as a product for about 10 years on the partner agency side, and recently this year joined up with Kentico. And my responsibilities include communicating the capabilities and the value of our product to our customers and partners.
Awesome.
Back to you.
Thanks, Sean. Today's going to be an awesome day. We've got a lot to talk about on our agenda, and then we also want to demo some things. So thanks so much for joining. We're going to have a really great conversation, but kind of where we're looking to go with this is let's give a quick intro to AI and marketing. We're going to talk about the future of content transformation, how to do some implementation around this technology to really drive those insights for your marketing efforts. We'll talk about different AI usages and Martech tools, how we can streamline processes using AI. And then also we're going to do a quick demo around how Kentico has brought AI into the platform and what that means for you as a user of this digital experience platform. But before we get started, I'd love to take a quick poll. Are you currently using AI tools or solutions in your marketing efforts? What does that look like for you? I would love to see where we're at and where you're sort of at in your journey with AI. You should be able to see that poll up there. I think, it's interesting by talking with clients. I have some clients who are really heavily invested in AI, and others of them are really starting out in their journey. So I'm very interested to see how our audience shakes out today and what are your peers doing? Awesome. Perfect. It looks like we've got some moderate users, and a good chunk of us are kind of open to it, but not quite there yet. And I hope by the end of this presentation, you'll realize that it's really much more accessible than you think, and there's less risk than you may be thinking already. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll have some great ideas that you can take with you as you go forward in your journey with AI. But let's talk about that. What does that really look like? Why are marketers really leaning into AI? And what we're seeing is that more than 80% of marketers are integrating some form of AI into their online marketing activities. So what does that mean? Does that mean, something from ChatGPT, just using ChatGPT? Are they using Bard? Is it something on the back end? We'll get through all of those examples as we continue to go along, but I think it's really interesting because a lot of us seem to think about AI in terms simply of ChatGPT. If I'm not using ChatGPT, I'm not using AI. And I think you're going to see through this whole presentation that that's actually not true. And you probably have been using AI this whole time and you just didn't realize that's what it was. But really a driver for adoption for AI is really helping marketers personalize their content, their experiences to the customer journey across different channels. This is where you can really utilize that to elevate your marketing efforts. And we're going to go through some examples of that as well. But I'm curious, of those of you who said that you're not using AI, what is that barrier there? What is your biggest barrier to implementing AI? Because I think what I hear a lot of this, lack of budget. There's concerns about privacy and security. There's limited understanding of the technology, maybe some resistance from your internal team. Certainly IT can sometimes not be super comfortable with it. Could be a resourcing issue, but I tend to find that these top four are what I hear the most. And I'm really interested where you all kind of stand on what those barriers are. So definitely drop a vote in the poll. Let's take a look at what comes back. I wish we had like some Jeopardy music. I think I'm going to redo my webinars so that we have some Jeopardy music playing right around now. I think that would really add a special touch. I won't put that up as a poll though. You don't need to answer whether or not you like Jeopardy music. I feel like there may be a concern there around some trademarking concern there too. We probably have to watch out for that. But taking a look at these answers, it looks like there's, limited understanding of AI technology. And I think that by the end of today, you'll have a much greater understanding. So hopefully that barrier will go away for you. Security concerns, totally valid. Absolutely get that. And then the resistance from team members and stakeholders. Again, I totally get that too. I hope that by the end of today, you'll be able to take them some new insights and put their minds at ease so you can try some things out and see how it goes for your organization. So let's talk about that. Let's talk a little bit more about, what is AI? Really, AI is referring to this sort of advanced algorithm and machine learning that automates tasks within the marketing domain or a number of domains, really. At the end of the day, AI is really, it's just sort of like an advanced data processor, right? It's taking a lot of different data points and putting them together and matching them up. I mean, at the end of the day, AI is a robot. It's not human. We don't have human interaction within the tool. It's really just making those matches of data sets and parsing through that data at a much more sophisticated rate. But it's not just a tool in the sense that we can really use AI as a catalyst for change on the human spectrum, right? Like what we can use out of AI can really revolutionize our marketing efforts and how we talk to customers and perform our jobs. So what is AI's role in marketing? AI really is allowing for that faster processing of data. It's going to enable us to deduce insight out of data sets much more quickly. I kind of love it because I don't like math and I don't want to have to do the math. I want a machine to do the math for me. And that's what I find with AI, right? By allowing us to parse through that data and quickly recognize those connections, what it can do is surface that data for us that we then as humans can have a greater insight into what the data is trying to tell us without getting hung up on putting the data together, right? It automates a lot of that. So what that does is that can make it faster to have impact in our organizations. It can shorten sales cycles because what we're not doing is having to run through all those analytics. Instead, the machine is doing that for us and we're able to just get to the insights and really start to pull out those insights. AI can also assist you in tasks that you're not strong in, or maybe you don't like to do. Things like, creating meta descriptions for your website, for your blogs and different pieces of content. It can help teach you how to use your platforms. A great example is recently was stuck on how I could create a report in GA4 and I couldn't figure it out. And went to Bard and I said, how do I create this report in GA4? And it gave me a step-by-step instruction on how to create that report. So think about it in terms like that too. I think we think about it in terms of content generation, but really we can also use it as a learning tool to help us learn new techniques or skills, or at least remove some of that mental load. So those skills that we're a little bit, rusty in or don't quite prefer to be part of our job, we can still get them done efficiently. So one thing I do want to say though, how is this going to change our digital experience development? Something I just want to put out there right now. AI is not coming for our jobs. We hear this all the time, right? We're all going to be replaced by AI. It's not going to happen. Humans are still a critical part of the process, and we always will be. AI can assist us in helping to implement our strategy, but at the end of the day, humans need to create that strategy, and it needs to be created by humans for humans. So when you take a look at how AI is going to impact our digital experience development, it's really more about testing and parsing through those data sets to see where we're at with our strategy. Is our strategy working? Are there tweaks or optimizations that we can make to our strategy that's going to make it better or raise it to the next level? Similar to how we would think, about content. For years, we've been told by Google, right? Don't keyword stuff. Don't no SEO funny business, as I like to say it. Like, we're not going to keyword stuff. We're not going to just have content that hits the right characters but is meaningless. We've been told by Google all along, just write good content that resonates with your users. Make sure your SEO best practices are in line and you will be good to go. So I think this is a similar situation, simply when we in the past would simply rely on SEO tricks to rank, it wasn't enough. So we have to think about that in terms of and how our AI usage stacks up, because robot to robot is not enough. We still need human touch there to create our strategy and to come up with what it is we're trying to do that we can then use AI to assist us in completing. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about AI and content transformation. What does that mean? So this is a great slide to kind of go through a little bit more of the particular of how does AI work. So we want to talk about, natural language processing. This is the ability for that computer to understand what our language is. When we're talking about deep learning, that's going to really be talking about that repetition and observation. What is happening when I output this, set of words? What then comes back to me? Contextual understanding is where that human touch starts to come in, because that starts to the algorithm starts to understand. I put out this and I, will get this back, or I'll get this refinement to the query back. So it's that contextual understanding to be able to understand what a user is looking for that then prompts the tool to give us the right information. AI is constantly processing data, commands, responses, questions, right? As more people use AI, then the tool itself improves because it begins to learn what that language means. And it begins to add context and understand what is relevant. For simple commands, that are task-based. So for instance, how do I create this report in GA4? And if it tells me the wrong answer and I say, no, that didn't work, it'll understand, okay, this is the wrong answer. I need to give a different set of data here. To even more abstract commands, let's say we wanted to use the tool to say, come up with a email title for me that, come up with an email title for me to promote this sale. And then it may give us some suggestions, but then we may say, okay, well, now make it appeal to a Gen Z demographic. Okay, now we've got context, and we'll start to parse through what is that contextual understanding. And that's how the tool grows and learns and becomes more effective over time. But don't get scared. This is not a Terminator situation. It is still just a tool. But let's take a look at where in areas of marketing where AI is making that impact. We kind of bucket it out into those three sections. In that natural language processing section, we've got that content personalization. And that's where we're really talking about, how can we use AI in our content to make it more targeted, more relevant to our users? Things like chatbots, sentiment analysis, voice search optimization, all of this revolves around natural language processing. And then when we get to that deep learning bit, that's when we start talking about lead scoring, ad targeting, pricing strategies. That's when we're really talking more so that more direct number data set that we're looking to parse through and understand that if X happens, then Y happens, or this is more likely. Those types of things really apply to that deep learning segment. When we go into contextual understanding, that's when we start to understand, location-based targeting, behavioral triggers, event-based marketing. That's almost more of that sort of marketing automation path where we would look at, okay, because someone did this, now we should give them that. So I think that's a kind of an easy way to think through the three, is sort of like, what do we talk about from a language? What are we talking about from a math perspective? And then what do we talk about from a behavior perspective? Some emerging trends include things like, conversational AI, visual content recognition. If you've ever pulled up, Pinterest and they have the picture and you can choose, to take a picture and find it, or Amazon, take a picture of something and find that on Amazon. That is a form of AI. hyper personalization. There's a number of uses that we see emerging in trends. So it's not just as simple as what I want to create for content. There's a lot of back end applications for AI as well. But I'm really curious, which AI application are you more interested in exploring for your marketing purposes? These are the ones that I kind of hear most commonly: personalization, predictive analytics. What is that next best product? What is the product that this person is likely to buy? Chatbots, virtual assistants. How can we reduce some load on our internal teams? I think that's really there's a number of different applications really that we can start to look at, that we can use this tool and this sort of platform to really enhance a number of different units within our business, different lines of business, right? From customer service, marketing, technology, even security, can really all be enhanced by that. So I'm curious which one you're most interested in. I'm gonna guess, and then I'm gonna see if my guess is right. So Phil, I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want you to cheat. So I'm gonna guess though. So let's see what the answers are and see what you guys came back with. What are we seeing? I was right. I guessed personalization, and sure enough, personalization's number one. Woo, go me. Predictive analytics number two. Not surprised. That's a great application for AI. That next best product you might be interested in, right? We're all trying to impact our revenue goals, and that's a great one. Regulatory compliance monitoring is really interesting topic. I don't think people think of AI in that application, but there's a lot of really good use cases there that I'd love to have further conversation on, because I think that's really a great one. And then that chatbot and virtual assistants, again, not surprised there. We always want to sort of unburden our customer service teams, keep our customers happy. So that totally makes sense. And it's really all of these are great uses for AI, but it's really interesting to see where everyone's interest lies. So let's talk about streamlining your Martech tools for that data-driven marketing. Looking at, where can we streamline our processes? How can we scale and automate? Using, enhancing our efficiency and analyzing that marketing and performance. These are all the reasons we use our Martech tools. How can we use them with AI to make them even a little bit better? When integrated effectively, we get this data, right? We've been talking about data for ages, data-driven insights, using data, measuring that ROI. And AI really helps us just get to that next level to perform some of that for us, so we're not having to do a lot of that legwork. So when we talk about AI-powered marketing tools, you already have them. It's not just a chat GPT. It's not just Bard. It's in your CRM. It's in your marketing automation. It's in your email marketing. We're already taking those sets of data, and these platforms are giving us insights, or offering us insights based on that, based on our users and their behavior and their preferences. It's already there for us. It's just a matter of how can we actually start to use it and make it work well. Really, at the end of the day, we're talking about real-time decision support that can really significantly impact those workflows, whether that be from an ROI standpoint, making impact on our revenue goals, whether that be from an internal standpoint, how can we unburden our internal teams? We're looking at a great impact here as long as we know how to use it the right way. This is a great slide. If you're looking, what am I going to take away? Take away this one, 10 ways that we can really use artificial intelligence to help streamline that marketing. These are the high points, right? These are the ways that we can do that. And within those, we have sort of subsets. How's this going to work for me and my organization? What is the most valuable for me? And that's really up to you and what you find to be most valuable, or what you're struggling with the most. But this is the slide that you're probably going to want to take home, because this will help you start to understand, like, okay, how can I apply this in my organization, and what makes sense here? So kind of dovetailing into that, what have you explored for AI features in your current platforms? Are you using them? Are you using insights? How does that work? I would love to hear what platforms you're using currently, and whether you're utilizing the power of the AI within your MarTech stack to impact your decision making today. I have a guess on this one too, but I'm really interested to hear what you guys think. I think you might keep me on my toes for this one, because everyone's MarTech stack is a little bit different, right? Like, not everybody has a CRM, not everybody, maybe is on an email marketing tool. Hopefully you all have content management systems and you have a great digital partner that's guiding you through that. If not, I know someone you can call. But I would love to talk more about that too, because I think that that's one that sometimes gets missed. And I think that, our modern day content management systems really have so much available when it comes to these features, and it's really a great place to lean on your digital partner. Hey, guide me through this. How can I do more with this? Help me out. I think that's a great use of their time. So I'd love for you guys to vote on this one. And I would love to hear all your responses. Let's take a look at those results. Looks like most people in their CRM, absolutely. I think that's the biggest one. Little disappointed in you guys that you're not using it from your content management system, but that's okay because we're going to show you a little bit later on. We're going to do a demo of how you can use it within Kentico, and I think you're going to be blown away by what you see there and how much time you can save. All great answers, though. There's no wrong answers here. I think everyone's at their own place in their journey, and it's how you want to use it and what you're able to do with it and what your organization goals are that you can use this to achieve them. So no shame at all. I think this is great stuff, and hopefully by the end of today, you'll be excited. You'll have some fresh ideas, and you'll take to it and start testing some things out. So let's talk about AI used in modern DXP web platforms. And to do that, I'm going to pass it over to Andrew, and he's going to take over this part. So I'm going to drive, but go ahead, Andrew, if you want to chime right in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, just a little background on Kentico. We are a global organization. We're based out of Brno, Czech Republic. We have a U.S. headquarters right in Bedford, New Hampshire, so in the Boston area. We've been in business for about 20 years. We were one of the first CMSs on the marketplace, and we've really seen this space evolve in our time on the market. From just being able to manage web content to the onset of personalization and new and emerging web trends that we're seeing today, like artificial intelligence. One of the things I always really like to highlight, and one of the things I really think that makes Kentico very unique as an organization, you see the employee count of 160 plus folks. We're not the biggest company in the world, but I think we use those resources very well. And we're very much so a product focused software organization. We don't have these giant, sales and marketing teams that you see with other organizations. And this has really allowed us to, keep our focus on our product and build our product. And, as time goes on, I see a trend emerging that, what we've done is very unique in the sense that we've gone and we've built everything in-house internally. We didn't go out and buy, bolt-on solutions for our technology. If we saw a trend emerging, we went out and we built it, and we ensured that it works seamlessly with all the other technology that we've built into our platform. Christine, if you want to jump to the next one, there you go. Thank you. So just a little bit of background and kind of why our customers really like Kentico. First of all, the thing that we hear most is kind of this easy to use, low code, no code approach for marketers, as well as the rich set of kind of out of the box content creation and online marketing tools. Usability is one of the biggest drivers as to why clients choose Kentico. Another trend that we're starting to hear more and more with our customer base is how Kentico allows them to efficiently manage their content. And we've seen, content across multiple sites or being reused across the same site. Kentico really allows for the creation of content and the reuse of content. And we're starting to see that push more and more into channels and not just the web area. Another thing too, we're not just a one size fits all type of solution. Kentico really can be customized and extended to meet all of your unique business needs. Of course, there's a lot of great tools that are common and out of the box, but really when it comes down to it, Kentico is a solution that can be fully customized to meet all your digital needs. Fast time to market. We hear this quite a bit, that you can get a site up and running on Kentico in about half the time that you can with a lot of, the enterprise, solutions in the Martech space. And then last but not least, really just working with us overall. We've got a very easy to understand licensing and pricing model. It's predictable. We don't hit our customers with overages or things like that. The idea is that once you've purchased Kentico, you've got something that you can count on. It's reliable, and you're not going to incur any unexpected expenses. And then just to leave you with this as well, I mean, as far as our approach to market, it does spill over to how we communicate where our software is going. So we've got a fully published roadmap. We're consistently adding new features and functions to our solution as trends in digital marketing change. And we do plan on making a very deep investment in artificial intelligence, both now and into the future. So just quick introduction of Sean. Sean is going to be walking you through existing functionality within the Kentico solution as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. As Sean mentioned, he's been around Kentico for a very long time. Worked for one of our gold partners previously, and we're very excited to have him on board as a full-time employee here at Kentico. Sean, if you want to go ahead and take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Andrew. So I'll share my screen here and make sure I share the right one. Okay. I assume everyone can see what I'm looking at here. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to carry on from what Christina and Andrew were covering, both in terms of context and AI and what it enables, and also how we think about AI and integrating it seamlessly into our product. So what you're looking at right now is KBank, which is our demo solution for Experience by Kentico. And KBank represents a regional commercial bank with a small marketing team trying to reach their customers across multiple digital channels with a consistent content, design, and experience. And you can see here on the KBank homepage, they talk about products, and there's call to actions to try to get customers to sign up for their products or purchase their products. But what we want to focus on today is how the marketing team is using content across multiple channels and reusing that content. There's an investment in that content, how they've authored it, and they don't want to have to write that again. They want to be able to leverage that investment. And also they want to be able to somehow leverage that with the power of AI. So I'm going to jump over here to one of the news article pages on KBank's website. And this is talking about the new CEO at KBank. We can see here there's an image, there's a title, there's some Q&A with the CEO. And this is what that page looks like on their primary website. But we can take a look and see what this page looks like from the Experience by Kentico administration. So if we jump over to this tab, we can see here we have a tree of pages on one of their websites. They have multiple. We can see that news page here in the content tree. And if we look at this page, we can see there's a visual page builder, some functionality that we have access to here. But mostly what we see here is the primary content of this news article. And if I jump over here to the content tab of this page, we can see that we have a bunch of fields here related to that content's representation in this website, but we also have a link here to what we call structured content that lives in our content hub. And so I can open this up. We can see here's all that information that you would have seen back on the website as a visitor to the site. And this content probably took some time to write. It was crafted to meet KBank's tone of voice, their persona as a bank and as a vendor to their customers. And that investment in that content, they want to be able to reuse. So they can reuse it in their website, as we just saw. That can be displayed here. It can also be reused in emails. So I'm actually going to jump over to dashboard of Experience by Kentico. And here we can see all of KBank's channels, one of which is emails, and the other three are websites. The KBank for Personal is the one that I just demoed. So I'm going to jump into their email channel, and we can see they have multiple emails that are either published or in draft. And we're going to take a look at this KBank intro newsletter email. When I open this up and scroll down, we can see the new CEO interview article is also being used in this email. And if we want a visual representation of that, we can open up the preview and we can see here that same content being displayed a little differently. Design is a little different. We aren't displaying all the content that we would have displayed on the website. So we're able to reuse that structured content here in a different channel without having to reauthor it. And selecting that content is as easy as coming down here as a marketer and clicking select existing, and I can see all the articles in the content hub of Experience by Kentico. All the articles have been authored by the KBank marketing team, and select one that I want to feature in this newsletter. So instead I could select this travel insurance article and go to preview, and you can see that the content changes immediately. As a marketer, I don't have to know about all the details of how to code up an email or design it correctly. Instead, I get to focus on the content and the experience that I want subscribers to this email newsletter to have. So I'm going to go back and select that new CEO interview. Go ahead and say that again. And up here at the top, we can see we have a subject field, and we also have these AI buttons. And you probably have figured out already what those do. Those open up our AI experience with this email. So I can go ahead and click on this, and we can see that the AI assistant is already generating an example subject line for us. And that subject line is being generated based on the content that is in this email. So it could either be this free text content that we see here, or it could be that structured content, for example, the new CEO interview article coming from our content hub, that content that's already being displayed on the website. And we want to make sure, again, that all the features in the product are working seamlessly together and leverage that investment that the marketing team is making in this content that they're authoring. So AI is no different. We don't want to just add AI to the product and give you kind of a chat box to type into to generate some content. Instead, we want to add it in a way that it understands the investments that you've already made using the product. So in this case, that structured content. So after analyzing all the content in this email, we were able to generate a couple subject lines, but those might not be the ones that we're looking for. And you could come down here to the bottom and type in a prompt and give the AI a bit more context, as Christina mentioned, to get the subject line that you're really looking for. But we provide these easy to use buttons here at the top, because typing in a text box, sometimes, it kind of takes you out of your flow. But if you can just click on, there we go. Okay, so with these prompts that we've included in the product, things that we think marketers would likely use when generating subject line, we can help a marketer quickly generate some ideas for a subject line and then tailor it without too much additional interaction with the AI. So let's say we want to use this one here. I'll go ahead and just close this and paste it in. And we can see this AI button is also visible in several other fields. So for example, the email introduction. And when I click on this, you'll see that the UI is a little bit different. And that's because the way that we've integrated AI with this field is to be able to generate some content, not just a subject line, but some content, some helpful information from various sources. And the first source that we can see is from our content hub. So again, we're looking at how can we leverage the investment that a marketing team has made into the content that they're distributing across multiple channels for their Experience by Kentico solution, and let them use that as the source of what the AI would have as context to generate some content. So here, I'm going to, again, select that new CEO interview. Maybe I wanted to select something else. Maybe the CEO interview is one article in the newsletter, but it's not the focus. This would let me select something else, but I'm going to select this here and go ahead and click generate. And so here we can see a summary of that Q&A with the CEO that you would have seen in the Content Hub earlier. And I can take this and paste it in here, but maybe I want to make it shorter. So here it gave me something that's a bit more terse. And you'll notice that there's not some random tone of voice that's being reflected here from the AI. Instead, what we have is something that matches what KBank from the marketing team at KBank is really looking for. And that comes from here in the settings for Experience by Kentico. We can set a tone of voice for all of the AI generated content globally. So this context is going to be sent along with any of the prompts, either things that I'm clicking on or something I'm typing in manually to the AI service, along with the content, to make sure that that information or that response comes back that's appropriate for us. Additionally, as you notice, there's kind of a different UI here compared to the subject line AI. There's different AI features that we have in the product that are being connected with these fields of this email. And behind the scenes, we are also setting up a whole bunch of additional context that is sent along with the AI text generation request to Azure's AI services to make sure that the response that comes back is tailored for an email and not for something else. And I think that's a key thing to understand, is that if you were to use something like ChatGPT to go ahead and generate some content, you can type something very simple in and you'll get a simple response that's, and I kind of like to think of the GP and GPT as being general purpose. It's designed for anyone for anything. And that means it might not suit your use cases. So to get a response that is really tailored to what you're trying to achieve, you often have to give a lot of context. And the more context you give, the better. By having this AI functionality in the product, we're able to provide a lot of that context behind the scenes with every single click or interaction with the AI that a marketer would have here. And they don't have to worry about typing in that additional information to provide that context to the AI. We can also see here that if you wanted to, you could generate content from a web URL. So why would you do this? Well, maybe you have something that you're going to be talking about in your email that isn't based on content managed in Experience by Kentico. So in the case of KBank, they have an affiliate, which is this K-Cars auto website. So people can come here, they can buy a car. Maybe KBank wants to push someone here because they have this loan calculator that is part of KBank's Experience by Kentico solution that is embedded into this affiliate website. And they want to push people here and fill out the form and get them engaged and maybe purchase a loan. So I can copy this URL and go back to the UI here and go ahead and paste that in and generate. And OpenAI will browse that site, process it, and generate content based on the content that is coming from that website that's external to Experience by Kentico. So we kind of give marketers the flexibility to start with their investments in content in the product, but also branch out to other ways of generating that content. And we can see here down at the bottom, you can always drop back to chatting directly with the AI if you want to, because sometimes the options that are provided here aren't exactly what you're looking for, and we don't want to block you in your workflow. So we make sure that the options are there if they're needed. As one more example, I'm going to go ahead and generate content here again, and I'm going to use that web URL, and I'm going to provide additional parameters. So here is another way that you can provide that context to the AI to generate a response that you're looking for. And this is slightly different than having that free text, because whatever you type in here is going to be given to the AI with the context of what this text means. So for example, if I type in here, for example, don't assume the reader is interested in the product. So this will go along with whatever content is pulled from this website, and that will influence the response that I get. And I could also tell it that the context of the generated content is an email. So it knows it's browsing a website to generate some content, but I want to make sure that it knows, hey, you're giving me a response that's going to be appropriate for an email and not for something else. And as you might have noticed up here, we also have custom description. And this kind of lets you go back to the ChatGPT type interaction with an AI where you can freely type in whatever you want. And you can see here at the bottom this quick tip that says, specify the maximum length of the generated text, describe the target audience, do all of this contextual stuff to get the response that you're looking for. And this is what a marketer is normally going to be responsible for if they're working with AI in a general way. They need to provide that context. So by having all these other options in the product that know about how the AI is being used, we can make sure we populate that context for you so that it's less for you to take advantage of those AI capabilities and the investments that you've already made in your content. All right, I think that's it for the demo. I'll pass it back to you, Christine.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share my my last little slide here, which I can't seem to find all of a sudden, which is a bummer. But I do want to talk about, a little bit of a summary about what we talked about today. What did we talk about today? What are we really looking to do going forward? I think, when we talk about AI, there's really a hope that you take away that there's so much opportunity out there. But don't get overwhelmed. This wasn't built in a day. We don't need to use AI in every single facet of what we're doing in marketing. Choose one thing and really start to use it in that effort and get used to it, test some things out, and then let's scale it. Let's scale it to other efforts. Choose one product, one Martech platform. What are we going to do? How can we use these insights? How can we test it? How can we optimize it over time? And if you need help with that, if you need help guiding you through some of that, or what does that strategy look like, definitely drop me a note. If you have any feedback on the webinar, would love to hear that too. You can scan that QR code to learn more about Silvertech and our work with our friends at Kentico, or you can just go ahead and drop me an email. Love to hear from all of you. But let's open it up to some Q&A. I would love to know if you have any questions around what we talked about today. I would love to go into more detail, or if there's just something you're thinking about, you want some feedback on, go ahead and drop it in that Q&A box. It's open for questions. Would love to talk through some of that. And I'll keep an eye on that as we are looking just to see, what kind of questions do we have? What would make sense? I think that we can see a lot of real interest in AI. And I think that what we talk about is really around how do we get started? I'm going to kind of start there because I'll be honest, that is the number one question I get. How do I get started with AI? And I would say, take a look at your Martech stack. What do you have? Do you have a CRM? Do you have an email platform? What is your CMS? What is available for you? Even some of the more basic CMSs do have the ability to have some AI. I would recommend, taking a look at starting with maybe your email efforts. I think that's a real easy place to start. Take a look at your SEO efforts. Can you use AI for some of that, meta description work, or, looking at structured data? How can you use it there? I would take a look at that and just kind of start playing around with it and see what you like and what you don't like. And then you can kind of start to hone in. I mean, to Sean's point, it's not always going to be perfect. It may not be written to your brand voice if you're not using it within a closed system like Kentico has built. But I think that you can still get a lot of value out of that. Kind of taking a look through here, the questions that are coming in. I think, taking a look at, let's see here, I'm just going to go ahead and scan through some of these. We talked about where to start, free tools and resources. I would say, if you're looking for some free tools and resources, certainly, Bard, ChatGPT, these are free AI platforms that you can use. As far as, within your, to come up with content ideas, subject lines, that's another thing. Don't think of it as like, well, I don't want to use artificial intelligence for my content because I don't want it to be written by a robot and I don't want it to sound fake. That is a totally valid concern. Use it to come up with ideas. Use it in your keyword research. Here's a keyword I'm trying to target. Can you give me some ideas for blog posts around this? That's a great use of AI. And then that way, when you start to build that content, you'll be able to refine it, but it'll just, give you a jumping off platform. That's when you think about using artificial intelligence in your day-to-day life, don't think of it as taking over tasks entirely. Think of it as a supplemental way to help you achieve your tasks more efficiently and unburden your teams, as well as maybe learn some new things, for tips and tricks for platforms that you're already using. Right. All right. I'm going to stop sharing there. I think we're coming right up on time, so I don't want to go too far over. But again, if you have any questions, want to discuss anything, hey, you just got an idea and you want to get a second opinion on it, please drop me a note. Definitely reach out to Andrew or Sean as well. You'll get a follow-up email, of course, because we're marketers and that's what we do. So you can always find our contact info there as well, or connect with us on LinkedIn. We're all very active on LinkedIn. Definitely reach out. We'd love to have those further conversations with you. But thanks so much for joining. This has been a great session. I hope you got some real ideas and you're energized and ready to tackle some AI in your day-to-day efforts. I really appreciate your time today, and we'll see you on the next one.